Hello and welcome to the Heritage Pod, a show where we talk about inspirational stories and bold journeys. I am your host, OOPSroops, and today we have a very special guest and a media professional, Roopsha Dasguupta. She is an entrepreneur, RJ, anchor, and also the founder of OOPSroops. So hi, ma'am, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Oritra. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Great.
So today we'll talk about something that we secretly struggle with, that is getting out of our comfort zone. So do you think when, as a human being, when we are starting something new, there's a little part of us which says, no, don't go there, don't do something, let's stay inside, stay in the bubble of comfort zone. So why do you think it's like that?
I think comfort feels safe. Whenever we step out of our comfort zone, we basically step into something which is uncertain. We are not sure. So that little fear kind of stops us, pulls us back, and it feels very comfortable, relaxed, happy to be where we belong. So in most cases, I think that's that little, in Bengali, there is this little thing called, lazy, a little lazy. That's how it is, but it's just not for Bengalis. It's for most of us and all of us that we love. A lot of us love to stay in that little bubble of comfort and feel happy about it.
I think social media plays an important role in this scenario. Like when we score every reel or a post we like, it kind of shapes our mindset. I often see the social media promotes the idea of embracing ourselves, embracing the comfort we are. Do you think this mindset helps us grow or kind of holds us back?
Social media is definitely something which is a very big part of our lives nowadays. But I am against the validation through social media. Whatever we are, I know there is this part of social media that makes us feel you yourself are enough. But at the same time, we all know that unless we stretch ourselves, unless we take that step, we do not move to the next level. So if we want to stay in the comfort zone, we will not grow. So if you want to chase growth, if you want to grow in life, make a difference, hard work, and yes, leaving the comfort zone would be important. And social media will give us the motivation through reels. Well, if it happens, it's great. But I think it should only happen for positive things. Social media should be something like when we were children, we used to have this little timed thing called television. That was not the era of satellite and so much of entertainment. If we can make that conscious decision that we will allocate that little time for social media and use it as an entertainment tool, then it will make all the difference, and not let social media decide whether I will stay in my comfort zone or feel uncomfortable about it.
So are you kind of suggesting that discomfort is necessary in order ourselves to grow?
Absolutely. See, for the amount of weight I keep putting on when I stop doing any exercise is at the time. So right now you're meeting me at a time when I have not taken that step and I'm in that comfort zone. But I know how uncomfortable and how heavy this is. So I know that if I have to get back to, maybe 25 kgs, I have to step out, take that extra effort, and then only the result will show. So it's just not about losing weight, it's also about learning a new language, or even in class. We are so comfortable sitting at the back, maybe not paying attention to what's being asked. But if you want to be a little ahead of everybody, and in such a competitive world, unless we learn to speak up, we learn to take a decision, step out of our comfort zone of relaxed environment, nothing will happen.
Let's talk about you, ma'am. Starting your own venture, OOPSroops, which is also a brand and creative startup. Did you feel at some point the fear when you step into the world of entrepreneurship?
To be very honest, I myself never chose to become an entrepreneur. It was just that life had its own plan, and just as the name suggests, it's oops first and roops later. And in everything we do, nowadays we're trying to book something, and if there's a technical glitch, it would give oops the oops, It comes, oops, please allow us a while. So life, only when it puts you in the oops situation, you try to become the phoenix and move on, because that's what life is. It is not one constant graph. So yes, there was Initially, the fear of whether doing a business would be a wise idea for somebody who does not come from a business family. So I'm learning. I'm always a student. And to give you a little insight, 2019 October, I started off as a brand strategy company, and we all know how 2020 changed the world.
Right, yeah.
So for a startup which was just about to crawl, so I had a very interesting international client. I lost that. I lost hospitality. I lost segments. But again, I believe in hard work, honesty, dedication, vision, and most importantly, I believe in the Almighty and positivity. So yes, in spite of all fears, here it is 2025, and in spite of all the oops, the OOPSroops is a little venture which is on with a lot of hope and aspirations.
So talking about fears, as someone as you who have in front of both digital and live audiences, how do you deal with the fear of judgment or the fear of self-doubt? How do you navigate through them?
To be very honest, I really don't care. I'm somebody, I believe that if you believe 2 + 2 is 5 and you're happy believing that, congratulations, it is. So I do not take anybody else's judgment, the burden of judgment on my shoulder. After spending more than 4 decades on this world and definitely believing that today is the first day for the rest of my life, I am somebody who will not let anybody's judgment affect my path and my destiny.
We have taken a survey among our peers. So they asked you a lot of questions. Are you comfortable answering that?
Of course, I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, so the first question is from Suchetna. She asks, does getting out of comfort zone is kind of related with hustle culture, where you don't wait for the right moment, you make things happen? Or do you believe that taking things slowly is an option where things come to you naturally? What do you prefer?
I'm somebody who is a mix of both.
Yeah.
I would, in certain situations, take the initiative to make that change, or else in a lot of situations, I would just let time unfold and my action will be dependent on reason, logic, and not something which is impromptu, which I might regret later. So I think a balance of both, which is hustle culture and a mindset to let time give its course, that should be followed, and that's something I really try to do.
So the next question is from Ananya. She asks, does getting out of comfort zone kind of alters the sense of identity we have? Let's just say I like to wear certain kind of clothes, a shirt, a trouser, a wristwatch, that's it. And the next day I do something bold, like dyeing my hair red. So does it change who you are as a person?
I think the core remains the same. If your value system, your own principles, your basic identity, and the constant fact that we need to learn, and we are not somebody who knows it all. If the basics are right, those things will not matter, because the color of my hair would depend on my mood, which is just a part of that season maybe. Might not always have a reason. But if you're happy doing what you intend to do, whether it's about piercing or getting your hair colored or feeling like Ranveer Singh or acting like one, please be so. Because it's all about finding your own definition of happiness. And when you find it, please ensure that don't lose it.
So you are basically saying it's an extension of ourselves.
Absolutely. You are who you are in whatever shape, size, and color, right?
Yeah, right. So we are at the end of our session. But before that, I would like you to engage in a short rapid-fire questions, where you have to answer 5 questions in 30 seconds. Are you up for that?
Wow, I'm looking forward to it.
Describe growth in one word.
Endless.
A fear you secretly want to overcome.
Fear. What if there is no tomorrow?
Ooh. Okay, next is skills that you want to learn overnight.
Everything AI. If I could, I would.
Yeah. So the next question is, last time you did something for the first time.
Okay, I would say in that dark night chasing the northern lights and you don't know which country you are in, and it was very cold, and it was definitely something I have done for the first time, and I'm still having goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah. And the last question is, name a book that changed your perspective on growth?
The book that changed my life is a book by Subroto Bagchi, and it's called The Professional. I read it in 2010. It was a gift from somebody, I would say, some very wise gentleman who gifted me that book. I read that book, and I think from that moment, too much has changed in my life, and that's the book. It's called The Professional.
Nice. I heard of that book. It's pretty nice, I know.
You must read it, because I think once you read it, and you should read it after being in the system for a few years. Don't read it while you're a student, because you have not experienced the world outside. Right? You should have at least a good 5 years of a little work ex, and then when you pick up that book, I think it will give you a different dimension. But it's a book that definitely...
Right. So that would be the end of our questions, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so very much, Arit. It was such a pleasure being a part of the Heritage Pod, because through this podcast, let me extend my gratitude to the entire faculty, and all the students are so lovely, and it's such a pleasure coming here and having this interaction. Wonderful questions. I've really enjoyed. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So I hope this conversation gives you that little push that you need to try something new in life. And I would like to end with a simple quote. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Until then, thank you, take care, and be bold.